Station 5. Judgment.
Jesus hadn't slept. He prayed fervently in the Garden of Gethsemane late into the night. He was arrested and taken to the house of the high priest, and there he was beaten and mocked throughout the night. In the morning, he was tried by the Sanhedrin, who pronounced him guilty of blasphemy. Now they've taken him to Pilate, the Roman governor of Judea, with the request to sentence Jesus to death. Pilate sat on his judgment seat as Jesus was brought before him, accused of calling himself the King of the Jews. In John's account, Pilate declares to the Jews, Behold your king. But they cried out, We have no king but Caesar. This moment harkens back to Samuel, when the elders of Israel demand a king, saying, Now appoint for us a king to judge us like all the nations. Samuel was upset, but God told him, Obey the voice of the people in all that they say to you, for they have not rejected you, but they have rejected me from being king over them. As you listen to this passage, turn your attention first to Jesus standing, bloodied, beaten, and weary before the judgment seat. Placing yourself in the story, how do you envision Jesus? What's his demeanor? What tone of voice does he use when speaking?
The Gospel of Mark. And as soon as it was morning, the chief priests held a consultation with the elders and the scribes and the whole council. And they bound Jesus and led him away and delivered him over to Pilate. And Pilate asked him, Are you the king of the Jews? And he answered him, You have said so. And the chief priests accused him of many things. And Pilate again asked him, Have you no answer to make? See how many charges they bring against you. But Jesus made no further answer, so that Pilate was amazed. Now at the feast he used to release for them one prisoner they asked. And among the rebels in prison who had committed murder in the insurrection, there was a man called Barabbas. And the crowd came up and began to ask Pilate to do as he usually did for them. And he answered them, saying, Do you want me to release for you the King of the Jews? For he perceived that it was out of envy that the chief priests had delivered him up. But the chief priests stirred up the crowd to have him release for them Barabbas instead. And Pilate again said to them, Then what shall I do with the man you call King of the Jews? And they cried out again, Crucify him! And Pilate said to them, Why? What evil has he done? But they shouted all the more, Crucify him! So Pilate, wishing to satisfy the crowd, released for them Barabbas, and having scourged Jesus, he delivered him to be crucified.
Imagine Pilate looking with amaze at Jesus. What amazes him? What amazes you about? Have you ever felt rejected or judged unjustly? Can you bring it before Jesus now, knowing that he has taken on himself all our griefs and wounds? Consider now the people in your world. Is there anyone that you judge? Anyone you feel contempt toward? Is there anyone in your life that you give in to their demands even though it goes against your conscience? What does the character and the actions of Jesus invite you to change in your own life?